All right, hello. Let me know if the audio is good. I'm using a different mic than I usually am, so tell me if the volume's good, as well as if it's coming through both headphones, if you're listening with your headphones in. Okay, so today I'm going to be painting some lilies. I took this shot in the studio recently. I prefer painting from life, but I also want to be able to do these live streams. And I think it's important to be able to see exactly what I'm seeing. I started this one. This is not complete. This is for a series of 100 paintings that I'm doing that were sold out pretty quickly on my website. So what I'm doing is I'm making 1, 2, 3, 4 inspired by this picture, but with variations, so each one is going to be unique. My palette today is titanium white, cad yellow. This is alizarin crimson. This is a phthalo blue, ivory black, and then over here I have some oleo gel. And as I paint, I'm going to be changing the exposure so you guys can see the palette and my canvas. Right now, the palette is a little bit dark, and I want you to be able to see my underdrawing here. So, and as I do this, feel free to ask any questions. Just using number 2 pencil, an HB pencil to sketch this in. I drew in these ellipses first, and now I'm going to very carefully. So I want my vase to be symmetrical, so what I did is on all of these, I drew a center line first, and then I took my finger, placed it on the surface, measured out one width on one side, and then I rotated it onto the other. So this is the same distance to here. And then I'm going down for the neck, and then the whitest point. I need to fix this ellipse. I'm seeing that it's a little tilted. Yeah, ellipses are hard, aren't they? So they take some time. I'm just connecting my dots that I've made. That makes it easier. Taking the whitest points, and then as it tapers, making it more narrow. But it's an equal distance on either side. So that's a little too narrow, actually. So I'm going to adjust. I'm going to make it a little wider, maybe right there. Turn it right there. And I'll take that same measurement and put it on this one. And this one. Can't hear you. Okay. Let me... Can you hear me? Let me know if that worked. I noticed that the light wasn't green. So maybe I was on mute. Let me know if it works now. Yeah, and these are oil paints. Yeah, let me know if the audio is working. Yeah, on either side here, I'm just doing those measurements. Let's see, I might be able to test the audio too. Okay, so Seems to be coming in on my end. So I wonder if your volume isn't up or something. I don't know. Could be something wrong on my end. Please let me know if it's not working right now. Okay, I'll put that away. Okay, so I've got my vases, and essentially my next step is I want to design this lily to be a little bit more exciting than it already is. And the way I'm going to do that is first I'm going to use vine charcoal. Vine charcoal is nice because you can just dust it off. So the reason why I wanted to do this 100 flower challenge is to improve my alla prima and my floral paintings. And oh my gosh, I'm seeing enormous benefit from this already. Okay, so I'm gonna draw like a silhouette, like a box for these petals. You know, like the envelope. So yeah, I'm doing 100 flowers on this linen, and then I am working with artifacts. I'm doing 25 more, and the 25 others are going to be on the Artifacts aluminum panel surface. I am so excited. They're lead primed, rigid support. It's like the best surface to be able to work on. And I love those panels. I'm working on another one for a personal project. I'm doing a painting on copper and having some of the copper show through. And I've been on Rublev's website to ensure that I'm using copper correctly. I guess it's extremely important to varnish. Because if you don't varnish, then it starts to oxidize. And as soon as you take it out of the wrapping, it begins to oxidize. So this will be kind of cool. You'll be able to see all of them, all of these pieces developing simultaneously. And what I learn from one, I'll change in the next, and then I'll go back and make sure that they're each as high quality as possible. Nothing goes out the door that I'm not proud of. That's the rule. Even with these little studies, these sketches. So something that's important with pretty much all drawing is you don't want perfect symmetry. So with each one of these petals, if I have an angle break like this to this, well, on the opposite end, I don't want that happening at the exact same spot, doing the same triangular shape like this, like an equilateral triangle. So I might go up, have the angle break here, and then go down and across. I've got a kneaded eraser to remove. Slow is fast. So fewer mistakes. It is fun to just go straight in with paint, but I find that this is actually more efficient for the effect that I want. For this piece, there's not going to be, a ton of wild brush strokes everywhere. This is going to be more I don't know, Dutch style. So I'm thinking about adding some lilies in that copper painting. I don't know. I'm only going to add it. See, there's a couple reasons why you would add something to a painting, right? It's either to drive the narrative forward, if there is a narrative. And I don't believe that paintings need to necessarily have a narrative. It could just be beautiful. I think that's enough. I like that. But I'm debating on making this scene on copper kind of my own version of the Annunciation. I was just in Rome, and you see so many pictures of the Annunciation. I was in Rome and Florence, so I got to see Leonardo's Annunciation. And I find that piece just is so striking. I think it's so cool. And again, please let me know if you just joined. Is the audio working appropriately? I'm using a different mic right now, and I want to make sure that it sounds good. So if it is not, if you can't hear me, let me know. I keep looking down because I'm checking the chat. And if you have any questions about materials or anything, I'm happy to help. Okay, put that there. Classic. Stepped on some charcoal. So I want this to be a dialogue between the flower up front and a flower in the distance. And notice I almost always put a part of the flower or something off the side of the picture. 2 points, 2 tangents create a line. A line of tension driving the composition. So I want this to go up here, and this one is not done. I'm going to keep working on that. I do want a leaf right under this petal because it's going to ground the petal and have a bit higher contrast. Let's see, I'm also going to do this. That. And I want to create a glow from right here across. Let me change the exposure. There we go. Maybe I'll have a leaf going off right there. Pointing up, I'll have everything kind of explode out from the flower on this one. Whereas on this one, I'm going to change it and make it all about that glow. So everything is going to point away from that glow. So I'll have a leaf here, like that. I'll have this going up. Of the brightest point here. This will point down towards that. Maybe another leaf going this way. Okay, and then this one, I've got this petal here, like that. It's funny, kind of reminds me of painting outdoors. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but there's like the early stage where people are, you know, walking past and they're like, oh, look, a painter. And they're like, oh, you know, he's just started. And then you come to a certain point in the piece, and then everyone just starts stopping. They're like, oh my gosh, look at that. Or you get that one guy that just sits right next to you. And he asks you every question, or he's like, he gives you a critique right at the beginning. Hey, you know, I think it'd look better with this. And you're like, thank you. I can't move and I don't want to start anything. But I tend to paint without like headphones in when I'm outdoors, and I interact with people walking around. Yeah, if you ever see me in Denver or Rome or wherever, come say hi. I was in the portrait gallery in London, and one of the museum guards, or not one of the guards, someone sitting in the gallery room, he came up to me. He's like, excuse me, sir, are you that guy who paints architecture? And I'm like, what? No, probably not. I don't think so. He's like, but you have the same accent. I'm like, what? Maybe. And it was me. It's hilarious. Okay, again, got some new people. Let me know if you can hear. It's funny, at the beginning of every live stream, you gotta ask that. Lily, Lily, Lily. Yeah, lilies are so cool. There's so much symbolism intrinsic to including them in the painting, in a painting. And I just love the way that this blue affects your perception of the purple. See, this purple is, there's like no light on that flower. So that's why this is definitely not done. It's backlit here, which is what we're doing, backlit, but I also want some points of luminosity. And I would highly recommend choosing a subject and doing 100 paintings of that subject. I know when I first started, I was like, I can't imagine doing my 100th painting. I remember counting on my hands, like I could count on my hands how many paintings I had done. Like, wow, there goes number 6. Wonder what number 8 is going to look like. Now there's been so many paintings that I've done that literally have no idea. Audio is a little quiet, but you can hear it. Okay. I just turned it up a little bit. Let me know if that's good. I don't want to blow your ears off. Oh, hey, Ian. Thank you for letting me know. Let me know if that is any better. I can turn it up. So I just drew all this out with Vine charcoal. Now I'm going back with my pencil. I prefer using a harder pencil than this, because it will stain the canvas. But I say that, but I use a number 2 so often that I know exactly how to kind of mix it into the paint and use it as a pigment. So I know how to react when it dirties everything. So there is a little bit of benefit to it. Sounds better? Great. Fantastic. Yeah, this leaf. I'm going to go up like that. I've got this one going down, this one going across. Cool. So notice how I'm not drawing any internal structures on the petals. It's just the silhouette. And we're not going to worry about the stamen until later. So now I'm going to take a paper towel and wipe away everything wipe away the charcoal. And you can see where I forgot to trace. So I'm going to come back and boop, 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 real quick. You can see that the little wiggles are actually okay. Doesn't have to be perfect at this stage. The drawing is not precious. We draw as we paint. Got a leaf right here. Ba, ba, ba. Looks good. We're probably going to lose this under the underpainting, but that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to get some gloves on. So I am so stoked. I just got a new commission, and this guy, he contacted me through my website, and he is a collector of ancient Greek and Roman artifacts. So I went over to his house for consultation, and he showed me around his place. And this guy literally has a museum in his house. He's got an armory, a fossil room, tapestries. So cool. So what he wants me to do for this commission is like a Jerome-style Colosseum scene with a gladiator that has just claimed victory. And I'll be using his helmet that he has from the year 2 to 3 BC in the painting. So I went over, took some photographs, and I've been doing so much research on that time period, and you know, all the different types of gladiators. There are many, many, many types. Okay, so I'm mixing up this yellow background. It's just white, little yellow. And because I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 simultaneously, I'm going to mix a good amount. Let me change the exposure. So the drawing is going to disappear for a moment, but I want you to be able to see the colors on my palette. So again, I'm working with titanium white, cad lemon, alizarin, phthalo blue, and black, ivory black. Black is neutral blue. Okay, so I've got white. This is going to be my lightest background. Now, do you see how I have a gradation on this one? I want to do the same thing, but I want to have a cool section, and I want to have a warm section. So that's the background. I'm going to grab some white. There's my light. I have to go darker than that, but remain light enough so that it still feels backlit. Okay? And, sorry, just checking the chat. Okay, I've got titanium white. I'm already running out. Just dropped my paint. That's cool. Squeeze that out. Oh boy. Use it all up. Okay, white. I'm going to create a cool section with a molecule of phthalo blue, and a little ivory black. I'll mix that up. And a little bit of yellow. So this has to be cooler and a little darker than the yellow. This didn't contain any black, it only contained yellow, right? So by adding a molecule of black, it's going to be darker than that. That may have been a little too much, actually. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to put it on the side for a different mixture. I'm going to add all this white in. We want to slowly descend into darkness. I'm mixing this up thoroughly to have a consistent mixture. Okay, so there's my dark down here. The warm side is just going to be this same mixture, but I'm going to add a molecule of red and yellow and black. So with these 100 paintings, I'm going to do a different palette pretty much every time. Okay, so it's just going to be this with a brown that I'm creating. So brown is just neutral orange. I mixed my orange, I neutralized it with the black. It needs to stay light. And it doesn't have to be a dramatic shift away from the blue that I just created. Just has to be a little warmer. And the reason for that is this was taken in my studio, and I just know the lighting in there from Painting from Life. So the upper part of the wall, there's a north window on the left, and the window on the left is kind of like a lens, so it flips what is happening outdoors. So the sky from above ends up on the bottom of the wall, and then the ground plane, which there's a lot of like fencing and dirt in the background, it goes up to the top plane, so this area becomes warmer. Sky, ground, it flips. It's pretty cool. Grab a little bit more, a little bit of white. Make sure it stays light, but it just changes hue. So if you're interested in being one of the lucky few with the last 25 of the 125 floral paintings, you can go to my website, Tanner Steed Art, and those are going to be on the artifacts panels. Okay, so I've got my light, my dark. Now I'm going to mix the value for the flower, and the flower is backlit, right? So it's going to be a little bit darker, and I'm going to warm it up a touch. So I'm doing yellow and alizarin and a little bit of black. So it's similar to this, but it will contain a little more rich colors and be a value step darker. I want it to be, yeah, that's good. This is just a starting point, and I can shift it from there. So we're going through hue, value, chroma. Okay, so lights, dark. Now we're going over here, and we're gonna do our leaves. Okay, I'm gonna do yellow and blue. That's gonna be unbelievably saturated. I grabbed a molecule of white because I don't want to go down to pure black. So yellow and blue is gonna make our green. Red to neutralize. This is gonna be way too saturated. So this palette is based on the, like your printer, the CMYK, plus black. So I'll grab black and yellow. I want it to be more or less an earthy green. Kind of like I would make a sap green. Oh, you saw my tree painting. Cool. Thank you. Oh, the painting I did yesterday. Thank you. Yeah, we did. I taught a plein air lesson in Colorado yesterday. I was thinking about going back and working on it a little bit more because I liked where it was going. But I had an appointment. I had to deliver a commission. Actually, they had to come to the studio to pick it up. I've been working on this camel painting for like a year now, and I finally completed it, and it's off to its new home. Okay, the inside here is going to be alizarin. And you know, I'm thinking about adding one more color to this. Let's see if we can get away with not using it. So white and alizarin, then alizarin and black. That might be too dark. So we have a light version and a dark version. That's too dark. Let's get more. I'm sorry, it's not alizarin, it's magenta, quinacridone magenta. It looks like alizarin though. Question, please. You ever get nervous about delivering your commission? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a little, the nerves are normal. So don't feel bad if you get a little nervous. I think, well, first of all, it's very important to be in communication with the person commissioning the painting, and they should be on the same page as to how the painting is going to look, how the painting currently looks. Now, that doesn't mean I'm sending them weekly progress pictures, but I am keeping them updated with, major changes and, sending updates along the way to ensure by the time you are delivering them, they pretty much know what to expect. I also have a commission agreement, a contract that ensures that, if they want to make changes, they can, but it's going to cost extra. Okay, the blue vase is going to be phthalo, a little black, and a little white. Yeah, commissions are tricky. I take very few of them per year and only do the ones that I genuinely want to do. I do like 3 a year, typically. That's plenty. Now this Colosseum one, oh yeah, I want to do that. I've been doing so many studies. And I'm planning out the composition. The early stage is the most exciting. Let's see. Are you allowed to share your best and worst experience? Is that what that says? Allowed? Able to share your best and worst experience with clients. Best experience? I've had a lot of good experiences. I'd say mostly good. Thank goodness. Good experience is when, I'll be generic for both of these, so I don't call anyone out. But it's great when a client lets you do your thing, lets you be the artist, right? And isn't very controlling over the subject or anything like that. Now, I think I said that the camels were a commission that I just completed. That actually is not true. That was a personal project that I had started and worked on completely on my own. And someone, actually a student of mine, came in and saw the study for it. And she found out that I was going to do it really, really large. And so she's like, oh, I am absolutely interested in that. So we worked out an agreement, and she was incredible. That was like best case scenario. I got to paint what I wanted to paint, and she got to come in and see it as it was being created. So she was updated regularly, and that's who picked it up yesterday. You can see the camel painting on my website if you want to go look. There's the study, which is available also, and the finished piece. So yeah, if you have that built into the contract where clients have to pay extra for their changes, they get, for my contract, you get 2 changes, because it's normal to go back and forth and to be like, oh, you know, I think it'd be better if, you know, my kid's hair was shorter, or if you could add this in the background, that'd be really nice. But if they're, you know, going on and on and on, then okay, after the second major change like that, then it's going to cost you. I have it per change and then hourly if necessary. Which really, if it came down to that, it's a win-win for everybody. They want the change, that's fine, and I get paid. So I just oiled all of this out. I might actually oil out this guy too. I'm using oleogel to oil out. Oleogel is a thixotropic gel by Rublev. I love this stuff. Highly, highly recommend it. I'm looking around for my makeup sponge. Let's see. So you don't want too much on the surface. So I'm going to take this makeup sponge and remove the excess. Remove the excess. This just will allow the oil paint to spread out nice and smoothly. Oh, these tacks are kind of work. I might need one more. Right there. I wouldn't say this is it was a bad experience. It wasn't a great experience. I had someone commission a painting. They paid for it. They're so excited, and they just couldn't figure out. Okay, one of 2 things happened. It's kind of sad, actually. Sad story. They couldn't figure out how to send me the picture that they were really excited about. And they tried to send me the picture, wasn't working. Then we lost contact with them and haven't heard from them since. So I hope they're okay, honestly. There's a chance, it was an older gentleman, there's a chance that they passed away, because no idea. Now the money was returned. This was actually through a gallery, and so no money was exchanged. The gallery paid me, and then because the commission didn't go through, I mean, then I had to give the money back to the gallery, and that's how it works. So that was a bummer. I've seen David Casson use magnets to secure small panels when painting, if that is useful. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Gotta get some magnets. My friend Christian is the magnet fanatic. He's building his own easel that will be available soon. And there's just hundreds of magnets on it. Not hundreds, but quite a few. So I'm laying down a yellow stain because I want this to kind of glow through the flower. It's going to be brightest right there. Everyone's going to have a different bright spot, actually. On this, I'm going to avoid the blue. You see that the pencil is actually tinting it a little bit. I like it. I like a bit of grime. I'm using a pure sable Renaissance series from Silver brush. If you want to pick up any of the brushes that I'm using today, you can go to Silver Brush. There's a link in the description. I have a discount code TannerSteed10 with Silver and Rosemary & Co. I use both. And I use crappy little brushes that you buy at the craft store. Depends what I need to do. I'm working on a charcoal drawing at the moment. I find skies difficult. Skies and charcoal, just keep squinting, make sure your values are accurate. Generally, skies are going to be lighter at the bottom, darker on top if it's a blue sky. It's all about gradation, gradation, gradation. If it's a blue sky, then, oh right, you're working in charcoal. But if you had color temperature involved, it's going to be warmer at the bottom, cooler at the top. Lighter, darker, warmer, cooler. And that's it. Okay. So I'm going to grab my white. It's kind of blown out a little bit. You're going to be able to see there we go. Focus on the flowers right now. Grabbing the white-yellow mixture. And I'm going to have different spots where the glow is coming from for each. So with this one, I'll put it right here. It's going to be my lightest light. Light, light, light. Let's see, what am I doing here? It's my leaf. Light to dark, back to front. Go right here, maybe here on this one. So each one of these are going to be unique. The stem, I'm just painting right through it. I can still see the graphite. I'm painting that thin. Nice and smooth. That's why I like these soft sable brushes. These are my favorite series. Is the Renaissance series by Silver Brush. This is a number 10 bright. You're doing a stormy sky. Warmer at the bottom, cooler at the top. Yeah, stormy sky, that's fun. I love dramatic scenes. Okay, the thicker I go with the white, the lighter it's going to be, right? The only thing thicker than white is painting. I'm sorry, the only thing brighter than white and yellow is thick brushstrokes of white and yellow. I'll put the glow right here on this one. Cool. On this one, I kind of have it like right there. It's already about that value. Do some finger painting. Okay, now I'm going to do, so I'm going to spread this out a little bit more actually. I'll go straight across. That's the glow. So it'll be less bright here, but still warm. And glow is just the result of a value shift. So you can get a glow in charcoal. You can get a glow with paint, light to dark. And if you want to make it feel even more glowy, then you do a temperature shift. Okay, let's do the cool first. Cool, I said, is going to be at the bottom. So you can see this is based on reality from my experience in the studio, but it's interpreted. Not just copying, creating something more interesting than reality. Question, please. Are you able to say publicly how much you charge for a critique, and is it price per artwork? And I know you're busy and I wouldn't want you to hurry. I offer exactly that, actually. If you go to my website and contact me, I have two different versions of this. I have the one that I think is better for people. It costs more, but that one is, we have a weekly live class that is only $410 US a month, which is so low for online instruction. That includes not just a live class, but we meet up with your painting and I give you a critique, and I will even use your painting in the live instruction during class. So, you know, just the other day, we did a class on planes, okay? Everything is a disco ball was the title of the class. And we went over everything I knew about planar design. And I used my students' artwork as examples for how to construct a figure using planes. And that was wonderful. And then in addition to that, you also get a one-on-one coaching session where I will sit with you and you send me 3 images of your artwork and I paint directly on it. Paint directly on it and give you one-on-one feedback on what you should do next and how to improve it technically. And we can talk about, you know, personal expression, what's important to you. So if you're interested in any of that, contact me. If you just want to do a one-off critique, I have done that too. We could even do, once a week. Maybe you're not interested in the live classes and you just want that one-on-one critique. I offer that as well. For pricing on that, it's less than the price I stated earlier. So if you are interested in that, just contact me again through my website. We can discuss exactly what you want to work on. But the reason why the live classes are better, I genuinely think, I know that it is better for your development, is because you not only get to see your painting being worked on, but you can see other people in the class of similar or more advanced level, and that will apply directly to your project and the next project. But I also understand, I want to be able to help people that maybe that price is just not quite right. You want just like a one-off critique. Happy to do that too. Okay, now I'm going to the top, adding the blue, and I'm grabbing the brown. Okay, and I just actually want to stain up here. I don't want it to be fully opaque. I'm just going to put that down and then spread it out transparently. It's a great price for weekly, but embarrassingly, I can't afford it. That's okay. I would have to do a one-off, but honestly, I don't know when I can get the funds. Well, shoot me an email on the website, and I'll let you know the pricing. I bet we could work something out. Okay, now I'm going to finger paint a little bit. Soften this. I'm a little too thick here. So back to front, right? I'm painting the wall first. And it really won't feel bright until I paint the dark of the flower and the dark of the vase and leaves. Do you want to move this clip and then get that right there? Turn the light a little bit. I think it got bumped. What on earth is that? There. How would someone know if they are skilled enough to sell through a gallery? Is it just a case of contacting galleries and seeing that they say what they say? You could do that. You can ask. I would. You got to be, as objective as possible. Bring, if you were putting your work alongside a work that you saw at a gallery that you would like to enter, would you be proud of hanging, not just hanging next to them, but be honest, do you think your work is as good as that person next to you? There's, different tiers, different kinds of galleries, different tiers of gallery. There's intro galleries, there's, the higher end ones. So if you wanted to schedule a session with me, I'd be happy to tell you where you're at and how to get there, if that is a goal of yours. You could also ask your friends, peers, other people who are showing in the gallery. You can send them your work. Say, hey, what do you think? You're not guaranteed a response with that. And you can send your gallery, you can send work into a gallery, but that is not going to guarantee that they're going to respond to you. Often a cold email or, just walking in with your artwork is, for some galleries, that's considered rude. You're not supposed to do that. The way that I was able to get into my first gallery was I knew someone in the gallery who was showing there, and they introduced me. And the gallery will not take you if your work isn't on the level that it needs to be. But at least being introduced, they remember you. You're recognized. And that is a good place to start, is just to be around. If there are any gallery openings, if you can go to that gallery often, just show up. Inevitably, people are going to ask, oh, do you paint? You say, oh, yeah, I do. Okay, well, maybe they'll ask to see your work. And if your work is good, try to make it great. Just improve your technique, not just technique, but that's like the fundamental thing that needs to improve for everyone. Is if the language you're using is not clear enough, people aren't going to be able to hear what you're trying to say, right? You need the visual language to be clear. And you don't have to be in a gallery either. Ask yourself, like, why do I want to be in a gallery? Is it, to make sales? Is it to know that you're on the right level? That's a good reason to want to get into a gallery, is to prove to yourself and others that you have grown enough to be taken seriously in a gallery that you respect. It's definitely my goal to be an artist. I'm nearly 52 and can't get a job, and a career as an artist would be a dream come true. Then just keep working your ass off. Hard work pays off, and that you gotta be, you just stay committed and be objective. Because guess what? Every day that I show up to the easel, even right now, I'm like, how can I improve? I need to be, one step forward to tomorrow, from today. If you don't have the mindset of constant learning and constant improvement, you're not going to grow. And having feedback is a really good way to ensure that you're on the right track. But I know that isn't always possible. It could even be finding a small group of friends who you respect their opinion because they may be able to execute on the technical level that you want to. Okay, you want to have friends that are much better than you. You want to have friends that are at your same level or a little bit less developed than you. So you can help them and they can help you. But you got to be objective. Absolutely. I'm happy to help. One of the best ways to develop is to do master copies. So pick a painting that you respect and try to get an exact replica of that. There's no... Learn the language that they were speaking. Now, it's also absolutely essential to stay motivated, because if you're just down on yourself and you're like, God, I'm still not as good as whoever, Bastien Lepage, Vermeer, Jerome, oh man, I'm still not there, I'm still not there, I'm still not there. You can easily spiral. I've definitely done so. Comparing yourself to the best of the best. So, with every small win, celebrate it. If you lay down a brushstroke, if you create a glow, if you draw something well, celebrate it. Just give yourself, little high five. Because this stuff is hard, but it can be learned. See how long I'm spending on these backgrounds? I might even go back over on with the glaze after. Okay. I've not done much oil painting. Done a few charcoal drawings. Oh, let me change the exposure. See, it feels really dark. Let me flip this light on. Give me more light. There we go. Yeah, I mean, drawing is the most important skill. Most critiques that I have for people are not, the color they've selected. It's usually fundamentals of form or proportions. So that's good. It's good that you're focused on drawing. Okay, I want that edge to be bright. I just switched over to a pure red sable number 8 Renaissance series. This is the 7100 silver brush. If you want to get this brush, you can use the discount code TannerSteed10 on silver. And if you're getting a Rosemary & Co brush, you can get a discount code, or you can get a discount with TannerSteed Art. And if you have any questions for me, it can be about painting, it can be about whatever, just keep me talking. Makes it more entertaining. And let me know, I'm curious, where are you watching this from? Anybody and everybody. Is anyone in New York in a couple weeks? I'll be, my painting of the Sphinx is at the Art Renewal Center show at Sotheby's, and it'll be up for auction. Not this weekend, but the next. So if you're in New York, come hang out. Say hello. Do you have working hours, or is your painting time more flexible? No, it's very inflexible. I have working hours. I do, well, I am married, so it's important to know when I'm off and when I'm on. So I would say that I work, ideally, to make sure my wife is happy too. I work every day, but Saturdays and Sundays are half days. And I wake up, 6 a.m. and have a coffee, and usually I'm looking at some art book or just slowly waking up. Sometimes I'll take an art book. I'll put an art book out the night before that relates to whatever the subject is that I'm working on the next day. So my life revolves around my art. I am constantly thinking about it, constantly working. Not really by choice. It's an intrinsic motivation that I just cannot stop. I cannot stop, and I have to schedule off hours more than I have to schedule on hours. So I'd say I'm on. No, it's easier to say when I'm off. I'm off at most weekdays 5 or 6 o'clock, and I'll get started as soon as I wake up. And that doesn't mean I'm painting the whole time. No. It means I'm doing something career related. Now, I have it in 2 different blocks. My mornings from 9 to noon, I have to be painting I have to be painting a piece that I have to do, okay? Whether it be a commission, whether it be getting these flowers done, I have to do this. It's not to say that I don't enjoy this, but there's the work that you need to do, and then there's the work that you want to do for whatever reason. So as long as I get my 3 to 4 hour session from 9 to noon, 9 to 1 on whatever I need to do, then I'm allowed to do whatever I would like in the afternoons until it's time to make dinner. Now, some nights, every Wednesday night, I meet up with a group of artists, and we draw and paint from a live model. So that's one night that I work even longer. You're in Northeast England, a city. Why does that happen? Let's see. Can I rotate this? There we go. A city called Newcastle, up on Tyne. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to step back, looking in the mirror. That's looking pretty cool. So what inevitably happens with that stain is the graphite and yellow accumulate and kind of dirty the flower so that it's a little bit darker than white out of the tube. And that becomes the lighter value in the flower. Although the way that I'm saying that sounds like I have a perfect recipe. It's that's not true. That's the way this one is turning out, the way that I'm thinking about it, the way I'm solving this problem. Every painting is unique. Cool. It is a good idea if you're going to be working in multiple layers to keep it light when you start and then get darker. Right? Because if you're intending on glazing later, it's always going to go darker. But you can scumble too. Okay. Like that. Why don't we take a fan brush? It's my favorite fan brush. It is Rosemary & Co. Fan Series 105. I'm just going to smooth this out. Vertical brush strokes, horizontal. Got to be careful with this one on the palette. Might bump into those. Just making a smooth gradation. Should move that clip. Yep. Smooth it out with my finger and then go back with the fan brush, vertical brush strokes. Why vertical? Because horizontal brush strokes will pick up glare. So I want to be selective on where those are. Okay, that's good. Have you seen Helen Van Wyck? I think she had a TV series in the USA. Some episodes are on YouTube. I have not. I've not heard of Helen Van Wyck. Van Wyck? Van Wyck? Maybe that's Wyck. Okay, what do we want to start out with? Let's start with the flower. I'm going to get a little bit of oleo gel. And I'm going to start mapping out the darks. I'm going to use this actually, because that's going to end up being too dark. I'm going to keep this as light as possible. So plenty of medium. And I'm going to start with the cup shape, rendering the form of these petals. Let me check the exposure. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I'm squinting down. This petal against the background in the reference is darker than the background. Check that. Go a little bit darker. There we go. Dark. Where's the light coming from? Top left, from the window. So everything that's facing that direction is going to be darker. This is everything facing to the left and upwards is darker. Lighter. Goodness. Also, I have to keep track of time. Someone's coming to my house to fix a leak. Not good. So this is without any of the red, any local color shift. This is how I would paint a white lily. Just crawling around the form, making sure that my edges are crisp. So this is all facing away from the light. This kind of faces down. This is like a little, it'll be soft right there. Then there's a dark. Under here I can see the bottom plane here. Like that. Check her out. She passed away sadly, but she was very good and fast because of the nature of TV. She used to teach a principal on each episode. Oh, that's really cool. I will check her out. Now the first one here is probably going to be the slowest. And once I figure out what to do, pick up the pace. Slow is fast. I'd rather not have to paint over mistakes. Okay, and this is not as dark as the flower is going to get. This is like a mid-tone. And it's mixing into the paint underneath, which is good. Selective contamination. Contamination is good if you know how to control it. You can use it. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to move over to this one, do the same thing, but a little bit faster. Here, dark, up, over, spin back. Dark. I don't want want to go too dark. Principles like lost and found edges, composition, glazing, and such. Like she started at the Art Students League, I believe. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, there's so much available on the internet, on YouTube. So much free content. That was a huge contribution to my early development, was just scouring all of the resources available for free on YouTube. Learned so much. But I didn't progress past a certain point until I had a one-on-one feedback with a mentor. I copied the Angel Academy, Florence Academy to the best of my ability, and then I brought my work to Mr. Daniel Sprick, and he changed my life. Would not be here if it wasn't for him. Okay, I'll go up here, and this one is going to be a little bit lighter. It's funny, each one of these are at a slightly different distance, right? This one's close to me, this one's far away. So it's forcing me to practice painting more at a distance. You know how they say hold your brush at the very back, paint at a distance. The reason for that is if you get too close, you're not going to see the whole picture. You're going to see, you know, just each tiny little brush stroke. And at the beginning stages, that is just, you're not going to be thinking universally. It's to help you with the concept of working general to specific. Okay, then it gets darker here. It flicks out. Like that. This goes down here. Oh, forgot that dark line. See how much faster this one's going? Sharp edge. Sharp edge. Okay, I went a lot darker there. Question, do you ever do thumbnails? If so, what are the benefits? Yes, I am a huge advocate for thumbnails. So if you don't know what a thumbnail is, it's like a tiny little compositional sketch. I would advise all of my students. I think they're so essential because it's reducing everything into the most simple construction. What's the light? What's the shadow? You get, for my thumbnails, they're typically just two values. What's in the light? What's in the shadow? And it should read compositionally at a distance. And by making it small, you'll know if it's reading or not. It's the equivalent of working at a distance. It has to be interesting abstractly on a tiny little scale. For something like these sketches, I'm not really doing thumbnails, but for, you know, that upcoming painting of the gladiatorial scene, I am doing many thumbnail sketches, figure studies, even master copies. And when someone commissions a painting from me, they will have the option to also collect the sketchbook that I've been doing all of the preparatory studies in. So if they don't want it, that's fine. I find them extremely useful for personal work, but if they want, that can be added to the commission. Everything is going in one Stillman and Byrne sketchbook. Okay. The light's there. Not going to do that. So I'm putting in these dark marks in order to see how bright the lily is. See how your perception changes? Now we know how light it still is. And then I'll go over here. Let's see. Try to get these leaf shapes done in a single brush stroke. As I make 2 strokes. I'm just twisting the brush to taper. It's going to be wider at closer to the stem. Let's see, we got one here. We're going to have pure black right there. But for now, I'll start just the green. When you said gladiatorial painting, I'm thinking of the painting by Jerome. Yeah, that's exactly right. So someone, this guy contacted me through my website, and he lives here in Colorado. He's a collector of ancient Greek and Roman artifacts. And he wants to have a scene in his armory. He has literally like a little museum. His house is a museum. So he wants a gladiatorial scene just like the one that Jerome did, with the helmet that he has in his collection. And that is one of my favorite paintings of all time. It's in, of all places, it's in the Phoenix Art Museum. So every time I go to Phoenix for workshops, I stop by that museum and study that painting. So it'll be my own version of it. Obviously, it's not going to be a copy from that, but I love Jerome so much. So his, for sure, I'll be studying that painting. Yeah, such a cool commission. I couldn't believe my ears when we got on the phone, because he didn't describe it in the email or in the contact form. He just said, hey, I have a commission idea. Please reach out. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. So I got on the phone. He started describing it. I'm like, hold back your joy. This is going to be so cool. Oh, the description is just wild. Wild. So to make these leaves feel a little more organic, I'm going to poke at them. Poke, poke, poke. That gives a slightly different texture and contaminates it with the color underneath. So this may not come up on camera, but for the person who bought these, they're gonna be able to enjoy that. Oh, I'll put this up here too. It's the other unopened lily. work back to front. That wall back there is done. So I can just go on top of it here. There's a leaf. Cool. Go over here, do this guy. Go to here because I don't want it to stain the blue. What size will you paint the gladiatorial commission? It's going to be 50 inches by 30 inches tall. I don't know how much that is in centimeters. I apologize to anyone who uses those units. I am stricken with the ridiculous American disconnect. Disconnect is an understatement. Goodness. So what I'll do is I'll have many, many sketches, drawings in the Stillman and Byrne sketchbook. I'm also going to do a few oil studies. And speaking of the topic before or earlier, with commissions, it's a good idea to do a miniature version, a color study, maybe a couple. For me, in the commission agreement, I have a requirement to do two different versions of the painting. And that way, you know, two maybe slightly different versions. Doesn't have to be, oh, I know you know. Metric and Imperial. For anyone else watching, that was to them. So, yeah, what was I saying? So 2 different studies. That way we're absolutely on the same page. So it's a sizable picture. The camels that I just completed, those were 60 inches wide. Backing up, checking the time. Cool, cool. Okay. Now I'm going to do the vase. Just going to block it in flat at this stage. I'm using the oleo gel to thin it out. And when I was doing that gradation, I really didn't bump into it too much. I'm going to make sure this is thin, so I'm adding the oil and kind of smacking it around. It's important that I get this ellipse right. So I take my time. I have to correct that one in the middle. Ellipses are hard. They are tricky. Just going right over the pencil. What if a client wanted this epic painting but at a much smaller size? Would you be forced to edit out details? It's something we discussed actually with this commission is due to the complexity of what we both want in the picture, it would be better to do it larger. And so if they chose for whatever reason to make it smaller, if they couldn't afford it, or what, then we would remove unnecessary details. But here's the thing, if I can do a color study of something, it's going to have all of those details that the larger piece is going to have, but the level of rendering will be just a little bit less. You can paint tiny. There are miniatures. Look at Meissonier's paintings. They're tiny little paintings, little figures. And you can get very, very, very detailed. But its detail is not really why you would go bigger. The reason why you'd want to go bigger is for the being physically in the room with that piece. It's going to have a much more intense impact if it's a larger scale. I won't go over life size with a figure. But up to life size, this is definitely not going to be life size. It also needs to be able to fit on the wall that they wanted. So there are a lot of factors that go into it. And everyone's budget is different. Everyone's reason for ordering a commission is different. Even Alma Tadema's paintings that are, I would argue, pretty epic, they're pretty small. Okay, coming over here. Yeah, I was surprised how small the painting by Fabricius, I can't spell his name, may have been Vermeer's teacher. Yeah, like Vermeer's too, they're tiny. So you can still have a beautiful painting on a smaller scale. It's going to be a much more intimate piece, and he wasn't painting epic narratives or anything like that. But that's what's amazing about Vermeer. So yeah, I don't know if Vermeer would have, he probably wouldn't have painted a Colosseum piece. I'm not familiar with his teacher. I need to look into that because I love Vermeer. Let's see, I don't like this. I'm going to go back over. Lawrence Alma Tadema is one of my favorite artists. Yeah, me too. Love Tadema. Put him in my top 5. Today, those would be Leonardo, Da Vinci, Tadema, Jerome, Bastien Lepage, Dagnan Bouveray. I'm going to start listing more than 5. Yeah, Tadema is so good. Okay, now let's go in. See, I kind of glazed this guy a little bit. Let's go into these flowers. So I didn't really make a dark mixture. How dark is this? For the center. I think it has to go darker. Maybe. I'll keep it this light, actually. See what I can get away with on this one. And then adjust on the others if I need it. This is darker. Fabricius painted that famous painting called The Gold Finch. The Gold Finch. Let's see, I'm looking it up right now. Gold Finch painting. Oh. Wow, I have a vague memory of this piece, but I don't think I've really studied it. I forgot it. Obviously, you were one of my favorite painters too. Oh, whatever. That's a nice. No, that's really nice. It looks contemporary. I could totally see someone. It's probably influenced a lot of people. Yeah, someone told me that someone just painted that in Sweden, or at any of the major art schools. I'd be like, oh, that fits. It's really good. I'll take a closer look at that later. So I want to develop the form of the petals first. As in other words, gradation. Get the gradation going. Then I can start adding the red. And these soft brushes are just so perfect for this. I'm still using that Renaissance Pure Sable around. I love round brushes. Okay, now I'm going to go lighter on the points of the petal that are the brightest. I'm going to use white and yellow. And I can start to paint thicker. I do some polka dots just to build up the body of the paint, and then I can change the direction of the brush stroke after I've just made it thicker in those spots. And these are only where the petals are most perpendicular to the light source. He died in the 17th century when gunpowder factory exploded in Delft. Unfortunately, most of his paintings were destroyed too. I think he was only 32. Oh, geez. There's so many painters like that where you're like, they accomplished that in 20 years? They were 19 when they painted that? What the? That's wild. Sad. I think that's, for better or worse, and romanticizing the artists who passed away early adds to the appreciation for their work. adds to the story. So much of what we care about is the story about the artist, not just the work on its own. So it's important to be able to make a distinction between the two. You know, that Van Gogh is so famous, you know, because he's got such a good story. He couldn't draw, couldn't paint light and shadow. Kwang Ho, he's my friend, and I don't know if you knew this, but when he lives in Pennsylvania, I work in his studio. That's for 9 months out of the year. Even longer, actually. It's more like 10 months out of the year I'm in his studio. But anyways, he says that Van Gogh's color sense is spectacular. He's a colorist. It's his favorite part of Van Gogh. I like Van Gogh's self-portraits. I think any self-portrait I can pretty much get into, even if it's not technically well done. And who knows, as I get older, I might appreciate the stories of artists more than the technique, but because that's been so crucial in my development right now, that's like so much of what I see when I go to museums. So it'll be an exciting future, because maybe I'll start to enjoy more paintings. Actually, I bet it'll be the opposite. I bet fewer and fewer paintings will be worth looking at. Yes, Velázquez's portrait of the older man. Velázquez was about 22 when he painted it. Wow. You know what I saw recently? What was that? It was in the National Gallery in London. That painting by, it's not Velázquez, is it? Is that painting that you're talking about? No. Rubens? Maybe I need some caffeine. I'm losing it. Oh wow, you know Kwang Ho? He is a brilliant artist in more than one style. Van Gogh may have been colorblind, according to some experts. Kwang certainly does not think that he was colorblind. He thinks that is his strength. He says Van Gogh could not paint light and shadow, but as soon as he gave up on that, he was able to create incredible color harmonies and should be appreciated in that. As soon as he stopped trying to paint light and shadow. So there are, you know, Kwang has the, 7 ways of painting. In like every speech he ever does at any painting event, he always talks about these ways of seeing or ways of painting. It's his philosophy. It's in his DVD. I have one over here, actually. It's the Nuts and Bolts DVD. Yeah, Kwang is fabulous. He's in town right now with Adrian. Love Adrian and Kwang. They're such incredible artists, but more importantly, they're incredible people. They're just so kind, so giving. They're so skilled. Really want to paint flowers with Adrian before they have to leave. She has a museum show coming up, Museum of Western Art. She has like 50 plus paintings. going in that. She's worked her butt off. It's going to be such a good show. I've seen a handful of them as we were unloading the car. They drove from Pennsylvania with 60 paintings in the back of their Suburban. Crazy. And Liam, their little boy. It's like 2,000 miles. Spell check, Guang Ho. Yeah, you got it. I need to make a fortune to get all the education I need. I don't think you do. No, I think if you're strategic, you can do it very, very, very cheaply. I would advise you to do master copies and then contact someone. It could be me or someone else that you respect and they're competent enough to give you an educated critique. Do a master copy and then maybe 2 of your own, and then meet up with myself or someone else. Get the coaching, take copious notes, and then get back to work. And that is not costly. We have access to so much free information. If you're really on a budget, buy student grade paints. It's okay. Buy the cheapest paint, maybe not the cheapest paint, but yeah, no need. Don't buy the best brushes, buy the cheapest brushes, buy the cheapest paint. The surface, maybe not the cheapest paint, and the surface you're working on, it does kind of matter. I buy Centurion linen panels on Jerry's Artorama. I don't know if you guys have that, but you might be able to find something comparable. Buy huge panels and then I cut them down into smaller sizes. So that's what these are on. It's my favorite linen. But for finished projects or special projects, I use aluminum or copper. But you don't need that when you're learning. Absolutely not. I trust you to be honest and with the brutal truth. Yeah, I will be honest, but it will not be brutal. I think it's really important as an educator to motivate your students and not to just destroy them with a critique. And everyone responds to critique differently. So that's why I seek to, understand the background of each student, and the more you meet up with them, the easier it is to read the situation. But I want them to work hard and to improve. But that doesn't mean you need to be brutal. Because guess what? It's all learned. Whether you learned it at a very young age and your parents told you that you were talented, and really you just practiced a lot when you were young, or if you're older and you still need some practice. Don't believe in the illusion of talent. Talent is just the result of many hours of hard work. And a lot of that work may have been done at a young age. And those people might think, I'm pretty talented, But I think it's, if you're interested, like really interested, then you're talented. That's it. I have Winsor & Newton Artist Paints. I've been building for years, but I have some of the Winton range. Great. Yeah. Those are great paints. Winsor Newton's more than fine. Speaking of Kwong, he was like, oh, let's go on Temu and test out all the paint on there. So he was ordering paint off of Temu. Kwong Ho, who gets free paint from Michael Harding. It's like, I wonder if I can get even cheaper paint on Temu. I don't know how long that lasted, but that was one day, maybe last year. He showed up to our art group and just started squirting out Temu paint on everyone's palettes. It was so funny. So I'm taking this cool color and I'm painting it into the dark paint where the it is in shadow and it's not facing the light directly. It's going to be cooler. Might not be that light though. It's okay. Kwong Ho. He's so nice. I was working on that camel painting in his studio on he's got like this $20,000 Hughes easel. It's unbelievable. I painted my piece on that while he was out of town. Then when he came back, I'm like, gonna move the camels and someone's picking them up tomorrow. We were all trying to watch the World Cup last night. Crazy game. Crazy. I am not generally into sports, but my friends are, so I'm trying to bond with them. So I'm getting into it. It's pretty exciting. I'll be honest, I don't know what's happening most of the time, but I'm slowly picking up on what's going on. Okay, I'm mixing up this dark warm value. This is going to go in the center of the flower, the darkest darks, like that. Boom. I think it shows Kwong is still willing to test things out and not get stuck in his ways. Yeah, he is certainly not stuck in his ways. He is the epitome of ADHD. And for better or worse. No, he thrives on an abundant mindset and full access to creative freedom. He's not afraid of anything. I think that's the biggest thing that I have gotten from him is to stop following your fears. But when I first started, I had a different philosophy. I was like, okay, if I'm scared of something, then I need to do it. So I guess it's similar, but just different phrasing. Okay, I'm just laying these in. It's dark marks. This is how you would paint a white lily. Just keep rendering it without the specks. Speckles, spots, the red area. Like my maul stick, it's a curtain rod. My favorite one is just a stick where I jammed a screw with a hook on top. It's nice and lightweight. This one's kind of heavy. This is how you stay strong as an artist. You just hold a heavy weight in your left hand. I do this too. Tanner, have you not been on the Undraped Artist podcast yet? I'm sure you must be on Jeff's list. I don't know if I'm on Jeff's list. Feel free to comment on his podcast and suggest me. I really like Jeff. He's actually one of the people I've taken workshops with, and he's cool. He's a cool dude. But hey, the longer he waits, the better it's gonna be. Because guess what? I'm still improving. Although he had my friend Jared on recently. That was cool. Jared Brady. Okay. Flowers are looking awesome. Thanks. Still a ways to go, but I am liking how they're coming along. So now I'm going to add a little bit of the red, and I'm going to start here in the middle, and we're going to use a lot of medium. I'm going to do this poking action. Poke, poke, poke. Starting from the middle out, so I'll go darker and I'll go lighter. Okay, and poke, poke, poke. It's going to naturally mix with the paint underneath, which is at a good approximate value for that section. And the more that I pick up the paint and lay it down, it's going to get darker. So if I need to darken, I just keep adding more. It's kind of like a stippling. Okay, this area that's in the light, I'm going to skip over because it's going to get my other value right there. This is kind of in the light too. But red intrinsically at high chroma is dark. The local color is dark. I want it to be rich and saturated in the lights. And then as we enter the shadows, it's going to get less chromatic. I will mention you on his podcast. I love his podcast, but he's not doing as many while he repairs his home. Oh, he's repairing his home. What happened? What happened? Oh, this is funny. If you're familiar with the Portrait Society, his painting that got into the Portrait Society last year as one of the finalists was actually the demo that he did for the class, the workshop that I took with him. And I was like, as soon as I saw that it was that, I texted him, I'm like, dude, how on earth did that get it? Like, not that it's bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, how crazy is it that a demo from a workshop was a finalist for the Portrait Society? That is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I don't think anything happened to his house, just general repairs. Ah, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. He's not dealing with what I'm dealing with, which is a leak, plumbing leak. So annoying. That's why I have to go today in 45 minutes. I gotta end this stream because I've got someone coming over to fix it. Okay, that means I have to be very efficient. Could you please recommend a painting that I could do a master copy of? There's so many to choose from. I would say simple is better. Don't do a crazy multi-figure piece. It could be anything. Depends on what you want to work on. So choose something that is the subject matter that you care most about. And your goal is to make it as close as possible. I would pick, maybe for landscape, do an Isaac Levitan. For portraiture, you might choose a Vermeer. You could do Girl with the Pearl Earring. I know it's classic, kind of cliche, but that's a great painting. You could also do one by Jerome. The Bazook, what is it? The guy with the red. That's even really complicated too, though. Take your time, paint it in stages, slow is fast. Draw it out. You could even do a master copy by just drawing it. In fact, you could do 2 stages. Draw it out, get a critique. Then paint it. Would be another one. If you're into animals, maybe you do a Repin painting of a camel. Do a thumbnail sketch of the whole scene. I love portraits. I will try the Girl with the Pearl Earring. I love Jerome's painting of the black man. Yeah, so good. Whoa. I thought that was my palette. I almost poked the flower. Yeah, Girl with the Pearl Earring. That's a good one. I think maybe 2 years ago, I taught a class. We did a master copy of that painting. Something you can do for master copy is research how large it is and paint at the exact scale that the painting actually is. You can find high quality images on Google Arts and Culture. You can also go to, what's that? There's a website that has like a whole library of masterworks. ArtVee, ARTVEE. Make an account. You might have to pay. Okay. So if you're not trying to pay anything, just go to Google Arts and Culture and find the painting that you want to work on. Ooh, Bastien Lepage. There are plenty of good portraits with that artist. But ArtVee is a good place to find references for master copies. You want to download the highest quality image. So this one I can use kind of a different technique. Don't have to do the splotchiness. The splotchiness is intentional because I like it to feel transparent and opaque depending on how the brush is poking into it. It's like a little pointille, like a Vermeer. And it glows like a little jewel. Okay, I have to go now. I will be back in 20 minutes. Oh, is it illegal to do a master copy at the same size, believe it or not? I wouldn't worry about that. Here's what to make. I would do a master copy at the exact same size, but then clearly sign it after Vermeer with your name. That makes it not the same as the original. So that is legal because it's different. It's got your big red signature all over it. I wouldn't worry about that. I think it's illegal to sell it as if it were an original Vermeer. But I think Girl with the Pearl Earring, they're going to know if it's the real thing or not. Thanks for being here, asking questions. If anyone else is here and have any questions, I'm happy to help you out. Could be on any topic. Be about flowers. I can give you relationship advice. I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Time for therapy. Okay. So you can see how much darker that one started. This one's very, very light. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I am going to darken this though. I like that. So with these 100 flowers, I'm kind of viewing them as, you know, little composition studies. So if I want, I might take some of the best ideas. The best ideas are going to be in the last 25, I bet, because I'm going to have 100 paintings of experience. And I still have some of those available on my website if you want. These are all going to the 100 people who bought the 100 paintings. But there's 25 left on the artifacts panels. So if you're interested in that, go to tannersteedart.com. But anyways, all of these are going to be like little studies for larger pieces. I'll be sending those finished paintings because these are studies. That's why they're at that extremely low price. I'm going to have the other ones at my normal price, and they're going to be much bigger and more refined. I gotta move this up. Never painted that bottom. Rotate this. Put it right there. I'll go back in with this. Finger paint. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Do that wiggle. That sprick wiggle. And I'll fan it out with my Rosemary 105. Oh, you actually can't see the bottom of this one. I apologize. I'll move the camera in just a sec. Whoa, that's cool. You just missed out on something spectacular. Did I do that? Okay, if you want something to feel shiny, you want it to have a kind of a soft edge. A little bit of the background is going to integrate with the pot. Take some of this. A little bit like that. Didn't have quite enough of a gradation for me to be satisfied. Let me angle this down a little bit. There you go. Kind of integrates the pot into the background a little bit. I don't want to completely lose it. I want to have that sharp edge, like the one above. So the one above, I had to stop before I completed it. That's why I'm continuing to work on it. So technically, someone's not getting an alla prima. That's going to be an indirect painting. But deal with it. No, it's going to be great. Okay, what are we doing here? We're going to try the dark now. What time is it? 12:06. Okay, I have 35 minutes. Okay, it's going to be darker in here. I'm using oleo gel, so this is all going to be very wet the whole time. Okay, and let me change the exposure so you can see a little. Oops, that's the ISO. Make it a little brighter for you. I'm willing to go a little darker in these. I'm going to pull out from the center there. Awesome. With flowers, it's so important to be subtle. Subtle with your values. And floral painting, I've found, improves all subject matter. Improves your painting of all subject matter because you have to be delicate, have to be precise. Get some blue in there. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm so excited about the commission that I just got. It's the gladiatorial scene. It's a gladiatorial scene. Just after the victor has been called victorious, but the collector wants the victor to be a little bit ashamed of what he's just done and is not proud of killing the other gladiator. So that'll be much more interesting than just, you know, woohoo, the gladiator won. I have to show shame and a little bit of regret in his face. Oh, this helmet off, and the helmet is a real helmet that I'll be painting from life. It's from 2 to 3 BC. Collector has it. So cool. So I'm painting the petals first and then the stamen on top. Okay, this needs to be darker out here. So it's like a little cylinder, so it's curving away from the light. It's going to get darker. Into the center. Looks good. I want this to be softer. Okay. Go over my palette again. It's titanium white, cad lemon, quinacridone magenta, phthalo blue, ivory black. I'm doing a different palette on each one of these sessions. So make sure you're subscribed and you ring the bell so you're notified when I go live again. I'll be going live for as many of these as possible. I'm painting 100 flowers. They're all going to be different. They're all going to be unique. And I'm really excited. So if you're into oil painting or painting any subjects, you might enjoy watching these. And I hope you're painting along with me too. I know when I'm just painting alone, sometimes I'll, turn on another video, see what someone else is doing, see what they're thinking about. Yeah, it's like painting in a group studio, and I have the luxury of that. For most of the year, I'm painting in Kwang Ho's studio alongside some of my buddies. Christian Mora, Ben Walling, Diego Glazer was in there for a bit. Right now he's at the Seattle Prize. And then right next door is Daniel Sprick. So he occasionally comes in and will give us critique. If I'm really struggling on something, I'll be like, Dan. I call him Dad. I'm like, Dad, please come help me. It's an incredible resource that I don't use quite as much as maybe I should. Okay, can't see there. Blend that in. Backing up. I'm going to poke at this leaf, give it a bit more of a organic texture, and it needs to have, let's see, upward there. I like that better. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, the flower that hasn't bloomed yet is receiving a little bit of yellow light. It's going to go right here on the left side of it. So we have warm light, cool shadow. If it's facing to the left, it's going to be a little bit more yellow. And if it's facing to the right, it's going to be more blue. So I'll grab a little bit of this, do that over here, boom, boom. There we go. Like that, like that. This is nice. And that one, it's glowing over the top. There's a bit of optical bluing, right? When something is so bright behind, it's glowing over the edge, it's going to tint it to be just a little gray or a little bluer. I think that looks nice. If you have any questions for me, let me know. And this can be after the fact too. I read all of the comments and I try to get back to you guys. If I can. If I can answer your question. I'll always respond. But let's see, what's the hardest question you could give me? Okay, I like that. I still haven't gone down to black. I like to use the full value range, going from ivory black to titanium white. Maybe not literally, but as dark as I can, as light as I can, for the ultimate effect. Ultimate Drama for depth. Now, I'd like to try something a little more atmospheric where, like Charles Weed, I love his paintings. He's not going all the way down to black. I don't think he is. Boom, like that. Wow, looking cool. So painting. Wow, it's so cool. Okay. I'm gonna try to go darker here. So this plane is facing down. It's gonna be darker. So I'll use the same paint, but a little bit more opaque. I'll describe that ellipse a little bit better. Okay, and then we've got another ellipse right here. Boom. This is the water reflecting. Okay, and on the left side, if the light's coming from the right going on the left, then the right side is going to be darker. And the left is going to be lighter on that sphere. Try to sharpen this up a little bit. We also have reflected light. I'm sorry, the highlight. I go like this and just wipe away some paint. Wipe away, removing the paint because this was started on a white surface. It's going to get lighter. That's why I like to work on the white of the canvas. Okay, I can wipe away the lip right here. Ooh, ah, cool. Okay, maybe in here. So back to front, I'm painting the vase first before the stem. Coming up here, noticing this needs to gradate a little bit more. Wiping the brush, it's contaminated a little bit by the blue, which is actually good. I want the same colors to kind of go all over the place. If you're interested in one-on-one critiques, oh, hey, Rob's back. You can contact me on my website, Tanner Steed Art. It's crunch time, Rob. Thank you. I think I'm going to try to bring this one to completion, then move on to the next, bring it to completion. And then go open the door. So what's the most essential? We got light on this side, light on this side. Shiny. It's not the highlight. Not yet. Okay, I can also take the back of my brush and scratch in. This is quite small, so I'm not sure if you can see that. But it's removing the paint, revealing the white of the canvas. It's going to be very, very bright. You can use that to kind of sketch out the veins in the petal, give the illusion for that. On the right side of that sky, it's going to be bluer. And in the middle, we've got a core shadow. At the bottom, a little occlusion shadow. Put that in. Keeping the stem thick to thin. Okay, then it goes here, like that. Okay, we're gonna go pure ivory black now. Just gonna go right at the base of this petal. Pure ivory black, right at the base of that petal. Right in here. Pure ivory black, boom. Cool. Now I ran out of white again. Get some more. Still using that Renaissance pure red sable. Okay, it's going to be my highlight, so it's going to be really, really bright and really thick. So I'm mixing a little white and yellow. I might do it in 2 strokes. I'll do, so this shows the windows in there in my studio. So I'll place this brush stroke going up this way into the wet paint, let it kind of taper. Put another one like this as it curves in the other direction. Grab another, put one here. Make sure I stop at that ellipse. Another one right here. Cool. And then there's one over here that's kind of secondary, so it's going to be small. Now that kind of works. Do you sometimes do a grisaille, or is it not needed for your style? Sometimes I do a grisaille for, I don't really do a traditional grisaille anymore. I do a simplified version of the local color. And so what does that look like? If it's a portrait, I might paint a picture with the focus on value, light to dark, but instead of being, you know, white and black, it's a pre-mixed flesh tone light, pre-mixed flesh tone medium, dark. And so I'll paint it as if it were, you know, monochrome, just focusing on value, and then I let that set up, and then I can focus on subtle color shifts. I don't know. I don't paint in the same way on any one painting to the next. I keep it fresh. I follow my intuition. I don't have the perfect recipe. When I'm teaching, it's different. I give you, you know, point A to point B. But when I'm just doing my thing, it's however I'm feeling that day, and I don't know who's going to show up. I have like a few different painters that all coexist in my head. Is it called an ébauche? Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, like an ébauche. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just did this stem or this vase. I'm going to bring the stem down into the pot, but it needs to be darker and cooler because it's on the inside of the glass. So I took the green, added my blue, added some black and some medium. So as soon as it goes below this lip, boop, black. Once it reaches the water, it's going to bend. Be a little bit over here. Go a little bit darker. And at some of these joints between stem and petal or leaf, I'm going to add little dark occlusion shadows. Let's see, I want to change the shape of this petal. Okay, that's cool. Let me change the exposure on the camera. Let's see. Which way are we going? We're going to make it darker or lighter? That looks pretty good, actually, when we're focused on the bottom right one. Yeah, maybe like that. Wow, I love painting. Painting flowers. Okay. Looks pretty good for alla prima with a time restraint. Okay. Let's go into this guy. I spent plenty of time on him. So I'm pulling out from the darks. So I was going a little too light. A little bit of the purple is jumping into these mixtures, and that's actually good. Shows that the light is bouncing around a little bit. Okay, go like this. This petal in front of that one. I think lilies are a good place to start with flowers because they, just have a couple petals. People get lost in the roses. But just like with any subject, you get to know it better and you'll be able to paint it. Okay. I haven't added the stamen on that one. Just realizing. But I'll do that later. I'm focused on this guy. So learning how to paint, 4 flowers at the same time is going to be extremely helpful for this commission because a component of it, much like that famous Tadema painting, he wants a cascade of petals coming down from the crowd after the gladiator has won the battle. Which, when he said that, I'm like, holy crap. Talk dirty to me. All right, let's do it. Yeah, I think roses are next to impossible. I've never tried it, though. They're not impossible. You got it. You should try to draw and paint every subject matter. Shouldn't be limited by what scares you. That's how I started painting roses. I said that earlier in the stream, but it's the truth. Cool, like that. You soften this gradation on this cylinder. Are you scared of cones? Are you scared of cubes? Are you scared of spheres? No, you're not. That's all everything is. It's just a combination of those fundamental forms. It's just paint. It's not actually a flower. Just ask yourself, how's my hue, my value, my chroma? How's the proportion, and how's the edge? If you can get those right, and if you just cycle through that line of questioning, you're going to be able to resolve any issue. But you only know as much as, you only can see as much as you know, which is where the mentor comes in. Which is why I started offering that. And I started offering the online instruction because I teach here in Denver and I do a few annual international workshops. But my wife and my plan, is to move to Florence. And in order to do so, my students wanted to continue learning as I left. So I was like, how can we stay connected? Let's do an online school. And I'll still be able to paint directly on your piece. So, or if people have moved away, they can continue their education. .32. Doing good. Okay, the inside of the petal is green, right? I'm gonna start with the dark. Dark. It's in shadow, so I don't want it jumping out too much. Might keep it dark. Boop. A little bit of yellow. The yellow makes the violet even more intense. Simultaneous color contrast. Often, instead of changing the thing to be brighter or more saturated, you need to change the thing that's next to it to give the illusion that it's brighter. Exactly true. The mentor is imperative to advance because I don't see past my level, if that makes sense. That's right. You only know as much as you can see. No, you only see as much as you can know. That you know. Nice, Tanner. So it's good. I move over here. I notice something on this one. I'm like, that could be better if it were just a little darker. It's cool. Whoa. Me gusta. That's Spanish for I like. Very well traveled. Just kidding. That's right. I may have taken 3 years of Spanish in high school. Cool. Okay, with this guy, I can kind of scumble, glaze a little bit, darken it. There we go. Use the dark mixture. Make these, the reds a little darker, it's going to influence our perception of the shadows, making that white feel a little bit brighter. Ooh, I like that a lot. For the Portrait Society of America, does the portrait need to be painted from life? The competition, I mean. No, it does not need to be painted from life. They could be from photographs. That's totally fine. Just has to be a really good painting. But you can always tell if someone has only painted from a picture and not painted from life. There's a certain sharpness to the quality of their portrait. Like the silhouette might be a perfect outline, or just the way certain things are rendered. I don't know. But people who have painted enough from life can paint from a photograph and make it feel as if it were painted from life. I don't think there's anything wrong with the use of photography. Photorealism is boring. It's impressive, but boring for me. I don't want to do that. It's not what I'm seeking. Like this, I'm using the photo, but do you see how I'm creating gradations that don't exist, selecting colors that may not be there, changing reality to be a little bit more interesting, writing, making it a little more poetic. Wherever you can lose an edge, lose it. Yeah, I love the Portrait Society. That is such a fun get together. It's basically just a big party. Hang out with your friends. I'd say most of the time the quality of the work is great. Sometimes I've been a little disappointed. One day I'll submit to it. I've submitted to other competitions. I've submitted to the Portrait Society before. Don't get me wrong. But I want to come up with like a really. I have a good idea. I'm not going to share that. What it is exactly, but I just got to execute it. You know, those good ideas where your chest starts to feel your heartbeat. You're like, oh man, that scares me. It's such a good idea. And it's not really like, it scares me, can I execute it? It scares me, it's like, oh my gosh, I know I have to do this. And for some reason that's scary. Fear and excitement are like a stone's throw away from each other. They're both tickling the amygdala. Ooh, that's looking cool. Yes, I'm working for my own reference for my seascape charcoal drawing, but I am changing things to hopefully better than the photo. Good. Yeah, you should always be trying to improve it. I would love to visit the Portrait Society of America one day. Yeah, you absolutely should. Be nice to meet you in person. This year we'll be in Washington, D.C., which is my favorite place that they host the conference. It changes locations every year. It oscillates between Atlanta and DC. I think somewhere else too sometimes, but for sure those two places. DC is my favorite because of the museums that surround you. The Smithsonian, all the museums there are free, and I extend my stay so then I can spend time, as much time as possible in those museums. They have an unbelievable collection. Not just the Smithsonian, but National Gallery, National Portrait Gallery. Actually, I forget all the names, but they've got good stuff. Okay, this one needs a stem going in. Go here, it'll hit the water, and then it'll bend. Reflection, bend. Oh, I would love to visit the museums. Yeah, museums there are some of the greatest in the world. I don't know what my favorite museum would be. I love the Met. I've been to Uffizi and the Louvre. The Louvre, no, I don't know. I think the Met might be the best. National Gallery is pretty incredible too. So see how I'm working on these? I like advance and then I go back. I make this one even better. Just time away from your picture benefits it. That's why I typically work on multiple pieces at the same time. I'll have the commission going, I have a personal project going, and I take one off the easel and I put it in the corner so when I'm on break, I can just peer over there and look at it, and sometimes something will happen in this painting, let's say my commission, that could benefit the other one. I'd like to say that I only have 2 going at a time. Sometimes it's more like 5. And they don't all get complete due to whatever reason. I will only work on something, keep working on it, if I truly think it's a good idea. If I find that I feel like I'm wasting time because it's just not that good of an idea, then I'll stop. And that can bite me in the butt a little bit sometimes. There's a Bouguereau at my local art gallery and a Clausen too. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. George Clausen, Bouguereau, really good. Checking the time. Oh, it's 12:46. I'll do 4 more minutes. It's dangerous. They're probably going to knock on the door. Then I got to go immediately. Let's see, I'm actually going to feel like another stem is necessary here, or a leaf. That. What if there was a leaf here, passing behind, it went here, and it connected right there. Yeah, I'll have to finish these outside of the stream later tonight, but you guys kind of get the feel for these. I appreciate you watching, appreciate you being here. Stay tuned for the next live stream. I'll be doing as many of these on live stream as possible for my 100 painting sale. If you're interested in buying one of the last 25 on the Artifacts panels, you can go to my website, Tanner Steed Art, look at the 100 Flowers tab, and there's 25 available. Less than that now, but see if you can snag one of those. Those are going to be the best of the best, because I'll have 100 more floral paintings under my belt, and they'll be on the aluminum ACM composite panels. Really excited. All right. Last questions. For portraits to be worthy of winning, do they need to tell a story or something like that to make the viewer think? Yeah, there are so many factors. They don't have to have that specifically. They just have to be a high quality piece. And the jury that gets you in is different than the jury that votes for the winning portrait. So quality of the technique matters the most. And then it could tell a story. It could just be a head. It's got to work as a thumbnail though first. So the composition has to catch their eye because they're first viewing it like this big, and then it's over. Then they'll pick from those. So they start at the thumbnail, then they zoom in and get more into the details. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. I gotta go. I have the contractor coming to fix my leak, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.